What's going on, guys? It's your boy Skillframe bringing you another Battlefield 1 video, and today we're going to be doing a flight tutorial for people that have never flown or people that want help flying. So what you want to do, even before you jump into a plane, is to go to your settings and adjust your vehicle sensitivity, and also find the control setup that works best for you. This is really important because if you're not comfortable with your controls, it's going to be a lot harder learning how to fly, so picking the right control scheme really does help. I go with the veteran button layout with the stick set to Legacy Southpaw. This setup works great if you're a big fan of racing games like myself, or if you've flown a plane in GTA. This control setup is very similar. So what you want to do now is load into an empty server. You could practice flying, you could get used to your new control setup and the button layout. From here you can also customize your loadout, because trying to do it in the match is a little difficult for the vehicles. But you can also do it at Battlefield.com. They have a section to customize your loadouts. So for the loadouts, pick out the loadout that works best for you, or the one that you feel you're going to be the most effective with. I go with the Bomber Killer package for the fighter plane and the ground support package for the attack plane. I haven't really played with the bomber yet at all, so I don't really have a loadout for it, but if you guys have any suggestions for it, feel free to let me know in the comment section. Now that we got the controls and the loadouts out of the way, let's spawn into a plane and fly around for a bit. We could practice some basic maneuvers and get a feel for how the plane handles. Another thing to remember is that there is two ways to turn a plane. One is with the rudder, which is very slow, which I'm showing right now, and the other way is done by rolling your plane to the side and pulling up on the pitch stick, or down if you have inverted controls. I recommend practicing both ways of turning because certain situations will require you to use different maneuvers. You can also practice by doing some rolls, loops, and figure eights. You can also try to do loops and get as close to the ground as possible at the end of the loop without crashing. This is a good way to get rid of somebody tailing you, because most people won't be able to match your speed or your angle, and they'll end up crashing right into the ground. Another thing you should practice is trying to fly around the mountains. Try and get as close as possible. This is a good way of shaking the tail sometimes. The mountains also provide cover from the AA gun. This is also a good place to do some quick repairs just in case your vehicle got disabled. So with all that being said, now I think it's time we actually get into a dogfight. This will take some time in practice to get used to, so don't get discouraged if you crash a lot or you don't get that many kills. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. So when you're tailing an enemy plane, what you want to do is you want to mimic their every maneuver. You want to match their angles and their speed to make sure you're always behind them. This can prove to be a little difficult if they have a gunner, but a well-placed shot will take care of that. It also helps having your own gunner, especially if you guys can communicate. Since there's 3 different types of planes, there's 3 different strategies used to take out each one. I feel that bombers are the easiest ones to take out. They are the slowest, but they also take the most amount of damage. You can also get a triple kill if the plane is fully loaded with people. Pilots in the bombers will hit you with a brake check, so anticipate it and slow down beforehand. They do this so you can fly by them and so they can tail you. My personal technique is flying right into them. It's not very scientific, but it works. If you do end up trying this technique, be careful because the planes do get tangled together. It has happened to me a few times, and you will both end up crashing and dying. Taking out attack planes is pretty straightforward. It really just comes down to who can outmaneuver who. If you can outmaneuver your tail, you'll fly away and live, and if you can outmaneuver the guy in front of you, you'll end up killing him. If you do happen to outmaneuver the guy behind you, you want to try and locate him as soon as possible, get behind him and take him out. If not, he will try and find you and tail you again. If you happen to be in a fighter plane and you try to take out an attack plane, the same rules apply. Just watch out for the brake check. Now, trying to take out a fighter plane can prove to be a little difficult because they are the most agile and the fastest planes, but it is possible and it can be done. The easiest way is if you're in a fighter plane also, because the same rules apply as before. Whoever can outmaneuver who will win. But if you happen to be in an attack plane, it can be a lot more difficult. The best time to try to take out a fighter plane is when you find them tailing a bomber or another attack plane, because that's the only time you'll be able to keep up with them, and that's the only time they'll be slow enough to shoot down. If you get the chance, always try to take the fighter plane out first. It will make your life a lot easier knowing that he's no longer in the sky flying around. You can also capture certain flags in the plane. Just be careful that the enemy team isn't using the AA gun when you're trying to capture it. All you have to do is go at a slow speed and do a horizontal loop around the capture point. If you're alone, this will take some time, and it'll most likely make you dizzy and nauseous after you're done. But at least you could say you tried to play the objective at some point in the match. Well, that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll have a better one up when the full game comes out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see yous on the battlefield. Pre-order Battlefield 1 and join me October 18th as I kick off my week-long marathon. The link will be in the description, and I'll catch you guys later.